with this. Don't use your illness as an excuse, kiddo, because you're already so ruined and burdened that if you make that additional mistake of capitalizing on your illness, you won't be able to distinguish between that bit of you that's left that's healthy and this totality of illness, and you'll be lost. It was a very difficult act of discrimination for us. How much do you forgive an ill child? How much can't they do? How forgiving should you be? How merciful? And when does that start to become an impediment in and of itself? It's so hard to figure that out. And so what can she do? Well, can you do this? Maybe you can do a little more. You push a little bit. How about this? Can you do this? I can't go to school today, Mom. Are you sure? Try to stand up. See if you can make it to the door. Could you have breakfast? How about if I drive you to school? Well, maybe I can do it then.
Societally, we've used the victim mentality, often not because of the victim.
Then you're a damn victim, of course, of the catastrophe of the history and the arbitrariness of biology and the malevolence of the human spirit and all of that. It's like, that's the thrownness. That's an existential statement. We're thrown into reality. You know, you arbitrarily inhabit this body and not some other. You're male and not female, and you're rich and not poor, and Caucasian and not black, but you're Muslim and not Christian. Did you choose that? No. It's like, you're dust, spirit in it. Way you go. Well, of course you're a victim. So what's your point? Exactly. You and everyone else. So what do you do about it? What are you going to do about it? Is that the right way to conceptualize yourself? Exactly, because that's not all you are. You're also this infinite possibility that can make out of that subordination to arbitrary destiny something magnificent. So which one? Duty, truth, all that, you know, guides us toward the light, out of this abyss of victimhood, as inescapable as it is, and understandable as it is. It's not the right thing. You're called to do something incredibly difficult. You know, in the story of the Christian Passion, Christ has to have someone help him carry his cross. Hypothetically, that's God himself, right? That's how difficult it is. Even God himself can't manage it, hardly. So it's no wonder everyone thinks they're a victim. Because, yeah, you know, of course. But you're going to make it worse. You're going to stand up under that load and struggle uphill and hope that you can reduce the arbitrary horror and expand the good. You're not a vision of heaven. Everything was good, and what everyone was doing there was trying to make the good better infinitely. And that's heaven, the good that's always getting better. And, you know, we could do that. We could do that. What else should we do? What else is there to do? So, and what's the alternative? Well, everything burns. Hell. You think that's not real? You have no imagination if you don't think hell is real. Is it eternal? If you're in it, it sure feels like it. That's close enough, isn't it? And we don't know what eternal means anyways. It's always been there. It's always lurking. It's always possible. We're always creating it. So what's the alternative to being good? Hell. And, you know, you can luxuriate in that and glory in it.
Do you think people who are true victims realize that what you're saying is true and move past it for that reason?
Oh, lots of them, man. People have sent us stories, and I see in my clinical practice, people bearing unbearable loads with grace and dignity and courage. And this one client I had, I mentioned him, who was intellectually impaired and bullied, and his mother was like 80, he was about 40. She was still taking care of him. She was still working full time. She was tough, man. You know, I'll tell you this story. I took him to a strip club repeatedly.
To a strip club?
Yeah.
Why?
He was terrified of women. Absolutely terrified. I mean, absolutely terrified. Petrified. He couldn't even look at a woman, much less talk to one. And I mean, the way he was constituted, he couldn't get past that. And I talked to his mother about it. She was a straight Jewish conservative type. I said, look, I'm thinking about doing this. I know it's exposure therapy.
Right.
You know, it's right within the clinical purview. Well, he couldn't go through life being terrified of women. So, okay, well, how can he get access to some women? Because he has no social skills. And how the hell am I going to do this? Well, could I do that? Well, it's a little unorthodox. Am I being stupid? Well, his mom, you know, she's pretty reliable. Maybe I'll have a chat with her about it. Go ahead. That was her attitude. Do it. That's a good idea. So away we went, once a week for like, I don't know how long.
Did it work?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, you know, he had many problems that were deep problems. It wasn't like a miracle cure or anything, but he got way more confident. Then he got a dog because he needed something to love. He was isolated. Oh, my God, that dog just about killed him. People from the SPCA mugged him, stole his dog. Oh, they stalked him, harassed his mother, told her that if she didn't get that imbecile under control, that there was going to be hell to pay. Animal activists, animal rights activists. It was mind-boggling. He got a lot tougher, and he took care of that damn dog. He lost like 30 pounds taking care of that puppy. Tried to get him a dog that was already trained that wasn't a rescue dog. Couldn't find one anywhere. So he got a puppy. Oh my God, that puppy dominated the main. So then he'd drag it sort of down the street because it would sit. And then the animal rights people would like, well, this guy is torturing this dog, which wasn't the case because the dog was actually torturing him.